Hey everyone, time now for the Thursday Fast Forecast. Here are some of those top weather stories. This insane video out of Flagstaff, Arizona from yesterday afternoon. Now remember, it's monsoon season in this area of the country, but they've also had multiple years of extreme drought. So when the skies opened up yesterday, so did the floodgates. Now this area of Flagstaff has seen a lot of wildfire damage as well, in particular from the museum fire. And we believe that this is burn scar that has helped create this flash flooding situation. Now this neighborhood itself had 5 cars that were destroyed, several houses also reporting flooding damage, and several animals got loose after their fences were knocked over. It was a huge mess in this region of Flagstaff. There is a GoFundMe page. You can check out more information to try and help those folks out if you would like. Our next video is in Shell Rock, Iowa, one of several dozen of tornadoes on the ground yesterday, in particular in the state of Iowa. This has turned out to be one of the busier severe weather days in almost 2 months. We saw, again, multiple reports. Some of them will be duplicate, but this will be likely one of the busier days we've seen since the end of May. We'll tell you what's going on with the severe weather there. Our last video out of Houston, Texas, time lapse of severe warned storms here. It's also been very stormy across parts of the Lone Star State, and they too will be dealing with more storms as we head into the forecast today. But let's take a look at the My Radar app, and I'm back down in the southwestern states, and you can see that they had flash flood watches ongoing from those torrential downpours from the monsoon. So although the monsoons are welcome rains, they've also had incredible fire situations in this region of the country. So it's really been a problem. And a lot of folks, again, reporting these flash flooding conditions that have created widespread damage in areas where they live. And unfortunately, that looks like that'll be the case as we head into today. And then up the road in the Midwestern states, just real quick, we're looking at the video the radar from these stronger storms that was firing across parts of those Midwestern states, creating widespread power outages. All of that, again, thanks to this complex weather system we've been tracking as we've headed into these last couple of hours. So here's a look at the storm reports. Yesterday, as I mentioned, there was about, give or take, 40 tornadoes that were reported. Now, not that many reached the ground, but several dozen did. And there was also widespread hail and high wind damage. So as we head into today, we're still going to be tracking the storm system as it moves through those Midwestern states. Here's a look at the SATRAD. This is the composite of the clouds and the radar over the last 24 hours or so, 24 to 48 hours. And our storm system's firing on this complex weather system with this area of low pressure feeding from the very warm air ahead of it, and then the slightly cooler air that's been behind it. Now, it's been very warm across this area of the country, but there has been some areas that have had some lower dew points, and the available energy in this area of the country has been pretty ripe for these severe storms. So we could see that again today. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center says. Futurecast shows, again, stormy weather all the way through the Great Lakes, down into, again, parts of Iowa, into Nebraska, Illinois, and eventually into Indiana. And then as we head into Friday, some of these storms are going to push through Kansas and then through the Ohio River Valley and eventually moving towards the east. We'll see how this plays out in terms of the severe weather risk. This does have a fair amount of energy, and it has been a system we've been tracking for several days. In terms of rain totals, well, cumulatively 5 to 7 just to the north and east of Kansas City, 1 to 3 behind it, 3 to 5 in some other pockets. So this will be very localized. This won't be widespread flooding issues, but again, because of the torrential downpours and the fact that these storms have been training one on top of the other, does lend the thinking that we'll see another stormy day as we head into today and possibly tomorrow. Here's a look at the water vapor, and ahead of that very bumpy ride across the midsection of the country is that orange slice of drier weather. It is through parts of Texas, but falls short of the Houston area where we showed you the stormy skies there. Gulf Coast region has been very active with weather the last couple of days. It is summertime, and this is when this area of the country gets a lot of their yearly rainfall. So no exceptions as we head into today. But then, of course, out in those western states, just the incredible dry and very dangerous hot weather that is ongoing out there, creating a very dangerous situation for the wildfires. All right, here's our daytime highs for today. We're looking at 70 degrees for Chicago, 73 for Lansing. We've got 76 for Cleveland, 70s and 80s across the northeastern part of the country. Looking at the 80s and 90s across the Delmarva and through parts of Philly. We've got temperatures in the 80s and 90s through the mid-Atlantic and over into the interior of the country. 92 for Nashville today, 89 for Memphis, 88 for Little Rock. And then down towards the south, temperatures here 90s and 80s, 86 for Miami, 91 for Savannah, 88 for Atlanta, 87 New Orleans. Across the midsection, there's the big contrast. So we've got some cooler weather thanks to the storms in Des Moines today. So 81, 84 for Lincoln, but very, very sticky there. 89 for Wichita. We've got 80s across the midsection down into Texas. Temperatures in the 90s. 90 degrees yet again for Denver today. And then there's our heat wave that continues across these western states. 97 for Salt Lake City. 95 for Reno, and again, Reno, one of the other harder hit areas with this extreme heat wave that we've had. 108 for Vegas, 108 for Palm Springs, 72 Los Angeles, and then Pacific Northwest expecting temperatures in the 60s along the immediate coast. 87 for Spokane, 98 for Boise, 90 for Idaho Falls. So our complex weather system kind of pushes towards the south today and into tomorrow. Again, kind of feeding on that buoyant air that's riding ahead of it with those summer storms, kind of getting a little significant in some of these cases where we could see again some localized severe weather as we head through today and into tomorrow. We'll see how that all plays out, and a lot of popcorn storms popping up thanks to the daytime heating as we head into Friday and Saturday. The Atlantic Basin has been relatively quiet the last couple of days. So the Hurricane Center gives a 10% chance of this system that's north of Bermuda of developing. Probably not going to be too big of an issue. We'll of course continue to watch it, and of course we have lots of time left in this hurricane season. Things will really start to ramp up in the month of August and especially September. That'll do it for your Thursday Fast Forecast. We'll see you here tomorrow.